So the only thing she can do is raise her prices. She doesn't want to raise her prices because she thinks she'll lose business, and she will lose some, but she's going to make a lot more money.
I charge $1,400 per wedding, which I thought was decent for my area, but after editing, time, second shooters, gear upgrades, and taxes, I'm barely making anything.
All right, what you got?
Okay. Hey guys, love the podcast. I really need some help. I'm a solo wedding photographer, booked solid every weekend from May through October. I charge $1,400 per wedding, which I thought was decent for my area, but after editing, time, second shooters, gear upgrades, and taxes, I'm barely making anything. I'm working like crazy. Clients are happy, but there's literally no room to scale. I've tried outsourcing edits once, but I hated how photos came back. I also don't have time to train anyone, let alone try someone to shoot under my name. Everyone says I should work on my business, not in it, but how? I am the business.
So here's a question. He makes $1,400 for a wedding if he is booked for the entire year, every single weekend, because weddings are on Saturdays, okay? So you're really doing a wedding a weekend during wedding season. June is the peak wedding season, right? And, there's not going to be a wedding the week of Christmas. And so, at the most, he's going to get 40 weddings a year, right? $1,400 a piece. What's the math on that?
40
times $1,400.
I don't know.
$56,000. Okay, thank you very much, bro. The problem is $56,000 is not a business. It is, in fact, 1/10 of a business, right? You need to get to $500,000 to have an enterprise where you can hire staff to do this, that, and the other thing. Well, the good news is, weddings, I know this I had a best friend who was a wedding photographer. What you think you pay for something goes completely out of the door when it's a wedding. So
Exactly.
Your wife owns a cake decorating business.
Correct.
If you have a birthday cake, high end, I'm going to guess $150 for a custom, maybe $200 for a custom birthday cake. A wedding cake, thousands of dollars.
Correct.
And it's the same cake mix. It's just that it's your wedding and you only get married once, hopefully. And who cares what it costs? It just needs to be perfect. A birthday, I'm going to have another birthday next year. The kid's going to turn 6 next year. And if the cake's not perfect, it's okay. We'll hit him at 7. You know what I mean? I'm not going to spend $6,000 for a birthday cake, right?
True.
A $1,400 wedding photographer, you don't want that at your wedding. You want a $10,000 wedding photographer. And what you do is you combine it with not only the service of showing up to shoot, but you combine it with the, what do you call it? What's the portfolio of your wedding?
Like an album or
That's it, the wedding album. And that wedding album is a deliverable that itself will be worth thousands of dollars to the bride.
So, short version, if I hear Rob right, is it's not scalable because she's not making enough money yet. So the only thing she can do is raise her prices. She doesn't want to raise her prices because she thinks she'll lose business, and she will lose some, but she's going to make a lot more money.
Yes. And she literally has to create enough options to where her average wedding can be $10,000 so that after she does 40 weddings a year, she can be at $400,000, which is the low end of what you really call a business, right? Anything under $400,000, you don't have money to hire an assistant. You can't get someone to do your admin for you. You're really grinding up to $500,000 in any kind of business. And what'll happen is you just get burned out. You're just not going to enjoy it. Interesting idea this guy had, my friend. He said, you think that videography would be just as important to a wedding, right? And so he said, he offered videography as an add-on. He hired somebody to come on and do videography. No one valued it. So the most he could add was like $1,500 to a wedding by adding a videographer. He says it wasn't worth it. He could just raise the price of the album $1,500
and not have to deal with another person at body and
another set of objections. Why did you miss this moment? The camera was out of focus when it needed to be focused. Like you're creating complexity and then customer energy around it. And he says, if people don't value it, I'm just not going to offer it. Just keep it simple. We'll have a wedding photographer. His wife is the second camera because you do want 2 cameras on site. And then you have a choice. Do you want the gold album? Do you want the platinum album? Do you want the triple platinum album? And so you have different price points. And his wife is going to be there with him anyway. She's not just too low on her price. She's too low by like 80%.
Yeah. I mean, even if you doubled the business, let's say she's doing 2 a weekend, you're still at just scraping by at 100. Yeah. And I think Rob was being a little generous with 40 because the real wedding season's only 6 months long.
That's right. And an October wedding is less likely to be the one where they're going to spend the $10,000. What it costs to market it's called the Knot is where you get your leads. And there's another one called Wedding Wire. And just show up on the search for these things because, brides go on the Knot and they find their photographer, their cake decorator and all that kind of stuff. Those are expensive places to advertise. You have to be expensive.
Sure.
There is no low-end wedding market. You just can't afford to be the low-cost producer. And she says, in my area, I don't really care where you're at in the United States. When you get married, cost goes out the window. It really doesn't matter what it costs. And to the degree that there's like a price-sensitive market, you don't want to be there. It's just not going to work. All right. You got anything to add, Katie? What do you think she ought to do? What's the danger of him or her hiring somebody, training him to do weddings, and then letting himself get double booked and having this other person go shoot the wedding? Why do you suppose that would be so difficult to do?
Because it would cost more money.
Well, you'd have to pay some of the money to them, but you'd presumably, if you sold a wedding for $10,000, then you would pay that photographer, $600 for the day, and you'd end up making $9,400. So it'd be fine, right? What is their fear, you think? I think they're worried that they're training your competitor, right? But I think the magic isn't in taking the picture, snap. The magic is in getting the brides. And so I don't think they need to worry about it. I think they should train 3 or 4 photographers to work for them. And if one of them starts a wedding business, well, good luck. It costs a fortune to advertise on the knot. And I think the lead flow is your moat.
They did mention quality, but you're the quality control.
Yeah.
You control the end product.
Yeah.
I
don't think it would be that hard if you brought some, go play golf, hire your caddy, have them come to 10 weddings with you, and the wedding number 11 they do without you. And, give people an option. Say, okay, I have a $12,000 wedding package. It includes the platinum album. I will be there. I'll have an assistant there with me. If you want, I have an $8,000 option where my longtime assistant, Chuck here, who used to be my caddy, he'll be there at the wedding. And if you want the $6,000 wedding, his mom will do it. She's never done a wedding.
But don't you see that in other industries where the owner thinks, hey, no one can do it as good as I can?
Yes.
Right? That's a reoccurring theme in all fields, especially trade type fields.
Yes, absolutely. By having a 2-person team, I have an uncle that does carpet up in Alaska. And I said, you're pushing 80 years old. Why not hire someone to help you to do this work? And he said, and train my competitor? I gotta be honest with you, laying carpet, I think you can figure that out.
Right.
I think you've been doing this for 50 years up here, and I think you'll probably still have customers even if one of your guys peels off. But
my general contractor does work around the house. I didn't hire him because I think he knows how to lay a door. He knows how to find the guy that knows how to put the door in.
Exactly right. Yeah. But I mean, that's just one of those things. He's afraid that quality won't be there. He may be afraid that somebody will compete with him. It's all fear. You can't make business decisions around fear.
Exactly.
You're always going to be held back. There's always something to be afraid of. What if it doesn't work? And so, but I honestly, if they don't have the guts to 5x their pricing, start with a doubling, see how that goes, and then double it again. And by then they'll be at the right price. And so, but they're going to have to try it, or maybe say, you know what, this month I'm doubling the price of everything and see how it goes. And my experience is when I was afraid to raise prices and I had to raise my prices a little bit, I did it on a small number of customers. And I was like, oh, well, nothing bad happened. People are still buying. Okay. And then it just gave me the guts to do more. So the fear kind of went away. Hey, Katie, how you doing? My daughter is doing nothing but complaining about being sick today, and I still made her come out here to be our interviewer. She is a proper teenager and a good member of our video team. You're proving your worth today.